So best 23 for West Coast for 2024. So starting with the backline, Tom Cole, Tom Barras, Liam Duggan, Elliot Yeo, Jeremy McGovern, and Jermaine Jones.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty straightforward backline. I think like Cole has obviously had a terrible run with injury. Elliot Yeo's the same. Jeremy McGovern's the same. Liam Duggan's obviously been that ever reliable halfback for them and has had to be a bit of a leader, and now
captain,
recognised as co-captain, which is great for him. Jermaine Jones, I don't know if many would have him at halfback. I just really liked what the season he put together this year after kind of moving from the forward line. But Barras, one of the premier backmen in the competition, and McGovern the same if he can stay fit. Yeo, I was trying to figure this out with Yeo. I think obviously he's probably playing more backline, could play on the wing. I wanted to maybe have him in half forward, but I ended up swapping him and Harley Reid, who with Harley Reid, I think I'd love to see him start as a halfback. He can really play anywhere, but did really well in his bottom age campaign for Bendigo as a halfback. Did so at VFL level this year when he got a stint with Carlton. So I think if you're going to put him anywhere, I'd like to see him at halfback and then just give him some freedom to move up the field and have an impact in the front half. And then off the bench, Brady Hoff's there. And Alex Witherden as well. Jaden Hunter's the sub maybe. Mm-hmm. So they've got plenty of other defensive options as far as their depth goes as well. So a bit to work with. It's going to be that high group again next year, just given where their midfield's at and how many inside 50s they concede. But Barras stood tall, and if some of the other guys can stay fit, they hopefully can notch up a few more wins.
Yep. Well, speaking of their midfield, so Matt Flynn comes in as their ruckman, and then Sheed, Jinby, and Kelly. And then, on the wings, Andrew Gaff and Elijah Hewitt.
Yeah, the ruck, I think, should be straightforward. Matt Flynn starts, Bailey Williams as a pinch hit ruck/forward. That's kind of what they've flagged when they brought Matt in. Wings, Gaff kind of just slots straight on there. Again, another one that just needs to stay kind of healthy after they lose, someone like Luke Shuey and Shannon Hearn. They just need some of these veteran heads to stay fit. Elijah Hewitt on the other wing should be playing there mostly, I think. They're all half forward. And then, key midfielders, Dom Sheed and Tim Kelly. Again, with Shuey out, they kind of have to be around there a lot next year. Tim Kelly was absolutely fantastic for them and probably the best year of his career. Mm-hmm. Certainly the best since he got to West Coast. And then Ruben Jinby, big presence, played almost the whole season before suffering that hamstring injury. And obviously has the size to kind of go with some AFL midfielders like we saw this year. So it's a pretty exciting group. Add Harley Reid into the mix as well. They've got...
curious to see if he rotates, how early into his career he starts rotating through that midfield group.
I think him and Jinby would be a kind of good to swap in and out, like at halfback and through midfield. So he should be getting a decent look in midfield, just given his size, explosiveness, and his ability to kind of go toe-to-toe with bigger bodies. So, I like those two together. And then, long-term, you're adding Elijah Hewitt into that to make that trio. And that's their long-term midfield for sure.
Yep. And the forward line, so Cripps, Darling, and then Reid at the half forward, and then Tyler Brockman, Oscar Allen, and Liam Ryan.
Yeah. Oscar Allen, again, just fingers crossed he stays fit and can have a full season. He was fantastic this year.
And co-captain.
And another one, the other co-captain. And one of the best returns on goals per game this year. Impact was massive in a side that struggled to win games. And then Jack Darling's just same. Like, I don't think he had a bad year at all, Jack Darling. It's just a matter of circumstance in kind of the list they've got and where they are. Tyler Brockman's going to be an exciting addition. I think he's going to be a really big loss for Hawthorn and a huge get for West Coast. Adding him next to Liam Ryan, who probably needs to find some consistency in his game. But he's probably going to be starting to play second string to someone like Brockman. Jamie Cripps, manages to find the goals still. Someone at his age and experience, he probably is that oldest player in that group alongside Darling. And he just is a kind of perfect, just veteran head for them, half forward link up player. Harley Reid, as we mentioned, can pretty much play anywhere. And here we've got him at half forward. Could very easily be playing at half back, but has, some good goal sense as well. Like, he's more of a midfielder while he, has played plenty of games across the back half as well. Certainly could slot into a role at half forward and cause a few headaches for defenders. And then Bailey Williams, as we mentioned earlier, coming off the bench as that next tall forward or ruck help. And then Noah Long, I think, is going to be a certain starter for them for round 1 next year. Just plenty of promise after a pretty impressive first year as an Eagle.
Yep, absolutely. So still probably ranked 18th next year.
Yeah, getting a win for them. Yeah, they play the Roos twice. And if they can snatch another one like they did this year, that's going to be pretty key.
Yep.
If they're going to do better than 3 wins, I'm not sure. It's just, you just got to figure out where they're coming from. Like, I think they only play the Hawks once. They might play the Suns twice. But yeah, there's a big gap between them and with North Melbourne and everyone above them.
Yeah.
And we mentioned the Roos earlier in the week, and they'll be looking to double that win count and try and get 6. But for West Coast, I don't think it's the same story. I think just beating it and getting maybe 4 is probably a benchmark for them this year. I'm not seeing heaps of improvement in 2024.
Yeah, it's hard to see where those wins are going to come from, but still an exciting year to come for them, I think, with just obviously Reid coming in, and hopefully the team just stays fit. I think that's just one of the big impetuses for them. So